Did you call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him a Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. Alright, that's what you say.
So, at Roy Sutherland Playground in Rochester, Minnesota, an incident occurred. A grown woman was recorded calling a young child a racial slur, specifically the N-word. When confronted about this, she openly admitted she did it, without any sense that she did anything wrong. She is not the first or the last person to do such a thing, but what makes this situation special is that she got widespread support for this. Regardless of the context, which I will go through, there is no excuse to be hurling slurs at children. The fact that people support her and her actions so much is evidence of a growing emboldened racist sentiment in America, or at the very least, it shows a growing racial sentiment online. The name of the lady is Shiloh Hendrix. Shiloh claimed that the child tried to take something out of her child's diaper bag. In response, she called the 5-year-old the N-word. A witness by the name of Shamarke Omar recorded the situation in which he followed her and questioned her about what she just did. She openly admitted it, without any shame. Once the video recording went viral, Shiloh was getting hate by some activist groups and individuals who even went as far as to dox her, which is the act of exposing or leaking someone's personal info, like their address. This sparked her to create a GoFundMe, in which at this point has made over $700,000. Probably closer to $1 million now as I make this video. To be clear, Omar was doxxed as well, and received many death threats.
Hi, my name is Shamarke Omar. I'm the guy who recorded that video of that racist woman that was insulting a 5-year-old child at the park here in Rochester, Minnesota. May I remind you guys, I have a clean criminal record. I've never committed a crime in my life. I am being punished for standing up, speaking up for a child. My address got leaked, my phone got leaked. I'm getting death threats by the minute. I have 4 children, the youngest one on the spectrum. He needs to go play outside every day. He can't anymore. So, doing the right thing gets you punished, and doing the wrong thing gets you rewarded. Make that make sense, America.
The family of the 5-year-old also was being harassed, so much so that the Rochester branch of the NAACP created an online fundraiser meant to support the boy and his family. It's over as of the time of this video, but they managed to raise $341,594,000. No matter how I feel about an individual, I will never approve of doxing. I abhor hackers and people who leak the personal info of regular citizens, and wouldn't mind extending the death penalty to include those as well. It seems despite all parties being harassed, Shiloh is the only one getting any support and people defending her actions. In some cases outright saying she was justified in calling the child the N-word. There are 2 examples I want to focus on that show support for her and the growing racist sentiment. One is Asmongold's take on some of this drama, and another one is a segment on Piers Morgan. The Asmongold video isn't solely about Hendrix though. It's mostly a response to an attempt to cancel a VTuber for supporting Hendrix herself.
Soyboy constantly stalks Kirshi, trying everything that they can to cancel them. And this is the problem with this whole conversation. No, Kirshi's completely fucking right. Yes, there is no justification for taking down her Give Send Go, but not Carmelo Anthony's. Carmelo Anthony's is 1,000 fucking times worse. It's not even comparable. It's infinitely worse. And so, yes, I don't even understand. And so this is her defending it? This isn't her defending it. This is common fucking sense. How does anybody not think this?
Within the video, he keeps using the Carmelo Anthony case as an example of why it's okay to support Hendrix. However, he frames and lies about the situation. He depicts it as an outright murder of an innocent person. The truth is not all there. The details of the situation are not all known, and it was determined to be self-defense. Austin Metcalf, the young man that was stabbed to death, was known to be a bully and a harasser of other students. Yes, he got good grades and was an excellent student, but he was not some innocent guy that Carmelo Anthony just decided to kill. It was self-defense. I don't know his name, but this man from the Piers Morgan video kind of explains it.
The people who are fundraising for Carmelo Anthony, the argument here isn't, yeah, we did something and we don't care like the other woman. The argument is we're being misrepresented here. We're being railroaded. This was a self-defense claim. This is not an act of violence. This isn't first-degree murder. I'm saying what they're saying. This isn't my argument. They're saying this is a first-degree murder claim that is wrong. This is actually self-defense, and we need the money to make sure that we get a fair trial. I think, and so whether you agree with his argument or not, I think raising money for a fair trial is different than raising money for a racist.
Hendrix had no reason to call a child a slur. She landed herself in a situation of her own making, and while she has the right to have it, anyone who supports her is a racist or okay with racism, even against children.
Okay to call a 5-year-old the N-word. I don't think most people think it's okay.
Oh, okay, so that, yeah, everybody knows that.
I think there are a lot of people who are tired of things happening, like Daniel Penny, like...
Yeah, Daniel Penny, total fucking W. Absolutely. The guy was a fucking psycho that he killed. This guy attacked an unarmed woman multiple fucking times. The guy that Daniel Penny choked out and killed. Guy was a total fucking parasite. The only person who's in the wrong here isn't Daniel Penny. I don't even feel bad for the guy that got killed. Actually, I do feel bad for him. That's what I meant to say. I do feel bad for him. The police should have put him in a fucking insane asylum. Really, I'm not even kidding you. The guy was fucking insane. How do you have 20 assaults? It's nuts.
The whole George Floyd incident and the Summer of Love,
yeah,
like the Carmelo Anthony. There's just a lot of people tired of the two-tier justice system, and they start saying some crazy things and doing...
That's exactly right. She is totally, absolutely, completely, unequivocally right. This is absolutely what people believe, and I understand that there are retards on Twitter that don't want to believe it, that don't want it to be real. They think it shouldn't be real. They don't think you should be able to say it, but the fact is, this is the way that people think. They think it is disgusting and absolutely ridiculous that a person is able to raise $500,000 after they kill somebody in cold blood in the middle of everybody else with a knife through the heart. This is some fucking Aztec Mayan sacrifice ritual shit. The guy raises $500,000 and then these people are getting bent out of shape about a word? Get the fuck out of here. Burning down entire cities because one police officer that immediately got put in jail and put on trial, this guy somehow is like the reason why you're gonna burn down an auto zone? Get the fuck out of here. It's outrageous. And everybody can see this. By the way, every single person can see this.
He tries to draw some kind of hypocrisy as well by saying that the situations with Daniel Penny, George Floyd, and BLM showed a double standard. Also that these situations were not being treated fairly by people because of some sort of anti-white bias. And because of this, it's okay for people to support racism. He claims people are sick of being lied to about these particular issues dealing with black people and racism. There is one huge problem though. He is the one that's lying. That, or he is really just retarded. The problem with Daniel Penny killing Jordan Nelly was not that he killed someone innocent. It's the fact that it wasn't his position or job to kill Nelly. He literally didn't need to kill him. He just had to keep him restrained. Despite how bad the guy was, he didn't need to die. Same situation with George Floyd. His criminal record is not relevant to anything. He was arrested because of a counterfeit check or fake dollar bills. He was supposed to be simply arrested and he posed no threat, but he was killed due to prolonged pressure on his neck that helped in restricting his breathing. He tries to pretend that BLM was unjustified in protesting because they were quick to arrest Derek Chauvin. That is not true. If it wasn't for the pressure from the protests in the first place, nothing was going to be done. And the people burning things down and breaking things were a small percentage of the agitators trying to turn the movement into something violent. I know it's a meme at this point, but it was literally a mostly peaceful protest. Asmongold is being three things here. He's either racist, leaning into his right-wing audience, or a retard that doesn't know how to research or do a simple Google search and read. To his credit, he does admit that it was Chauvin's fault George Floyd died, and even his own audience disagreed with him on that.
I was very much like in favor of the I was a George Floyd supporter in general. Like I didn't like that Derek Chauvin guy either. There was a lot of people in my audience that were unhappy about that, and I don't want to go through that whole thing. But I will reiterate my position. I think that if George Floyd wasn't pulled out of the car by that fucking officer, he'd probably still be alive, right? There's a good chance. But yeah, sorry. I do, and I think the officer is a piece of shit. But and anyway, no, I'm telling you, like, just look at his history. But anyways, 0% chance. Yeah, I have no, like, I mean, the guy had such a massive, bold claim. Just look up his history as an officer before this. But anyway, it was an overdose. Don't care. That's not my point.
The rest of this video is just about him talking about the VTuber. But all this shows is that the racist sentiment is strong, so much so that even when its perpetrators disagree, the populace and the audience for them still go with the racist narrative. In the Piers Morgan video, he has 4 people on, including the red pill innovator himself, Myron Gaines.
Booty queen, just boys being boys. Booty queen, boys, booty queen, just boys being boys.
Over here talking about a problem, then you bring it right back into, you know, this whole white thing. Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
This whole white thing is what built this country, Myron.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Hey, you fucking sand. You sand.
Just boys being boys. Boys being boys. But even Myron, with his racist and stupid rant, is not what I want to focus on, but the part that focuses on Lily Gaddis. And Lily Gaddis is a right-wing, trad wife influencer. She essentially claims that she wants to fight for free speech and the unity of white people, claiming that over the past couple of years, white people have been victims of a constant racist attack, and black people have been given preferential treatment over whites, especially in the job market.
Here's the thing, white people have been under attack for years. It's been systematic racism. As much as black people and people of color want to talk about systematic racism in the United States, it's quite the opposite. They get preferential treatment when it comes to getting a job, when it comes to getting into colleges. White people, on the other hand, have been getting attacked relentlessly. Look at 2016 and BLM and all the riots. We just had to sit back and watch people burn down our cities and do nothing about it. So the way to fight back against essentially this anti-white hatred that's been systemically, you know, ingrained in U.S. society is with white unity. We don't see white unity on our side.
All of which is not true. White people still dominate most jobs, and also almost every story about a black person being chosen for school or a job over a white person simply because they were black is bullshit. It doesn't happen. And I am honestly tired of the BLM being a riot argument. But I already made my point about BLM.
Hang on. Sorry, just to be clear, this has got nothing to do with anything you've just said. This is a disgusting racist woman who repeatedly spews the M-word, first at a young child, and then at the person taking the video of her, does it with complete impunity, does it numerous times. We are talking about a bona fide, unquestionable racist. And so I don't understand why what you've just said to me bears any relation to white unity or anything that you've just said. She's just a racist.
I never loved Piers Morgan that much, but he is absolutely right here. Gaddis is just supporting a racist in racism. Nothing to do with actual white unity at all.
And isn't she? You wouldn't dispute that.
It's not about her. It's not about her. It's about
white people
coming together and supporting another white person. And it doesn't matter.
Why would you want to support a white racist?
Because I want to support free speech, and you cannot have free speech in a country.
Yeah, that's fine. You can support free speech, but you also have to be accountable for what you say.
This point cannot be stressed enough. So many people think free speech means I can say whatever I want and nothing is supposed to happen to me. No. Freedom of speech means that the government cannot kill you or put you in jail for saying something they don't like. But freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. If you say something your boss doesn't like, he or she has the right to fire you. If you say something on a platform and the owners don't like it, you can be kicked off. As Piers says, you have to have accountability for your actions.
Would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
Mm-hmm. I do quite frequently.
You use the M word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, well, if you use the M word repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way, Shiloh Hendrix is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different.
Sorry, but just to be
thing.
clear, you just said to me you use the N word regularly. In what context? Do you use it with black people?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
When would it be appropriate to use the N word?
People.
When would it be appropriate?
Anytime I feel like it.
So you're an unashamed racist.
Correct.
Well, do you understand that makes you a despicable human being?
I guess so. I don't really care. I mean, why are we not talking about Shiloh Hendrix? Why are we talking about?
Well, actually, I think you've moved it on in this debate very quickly to your own racism, which explains why you've supported her in public and why you've got all these views. You see no problem with a woman shrieking the N-word repeatedly because you yourself are a despicable racist, and you've just proudly admitted that with a smug grin on your face, which is pretty horrifying, actually, for most people to have to watch. And shame on you. You're entitled to do it, and I'm entitled to call you despicable.
She tries to derail the fact she just admitted she is a racist, or is willing to brandish the label if it means furthering white people's goals. She literally said she will say the N-word if it's appropriate, and what she deems as appropriate is whenever she feels like it.
Well, shame on white people for allowing themselves to be systematically discriminated against in the United States. This is our country. This is a country that should be.
What do you mean your country?
Because I'm white and my
What, there are no black people in American history? Is that what you're saying? That they've all just landed in America, invading your white country? Is that your position?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they were brought here technically.
I'm trying to keep things relatively level. But what a retarded, stupid, racist white bitch. So black people are not Americans, and despite being forcibly brought to America, it's somehow their fault for being here. This lady is the prime example of the strong wave of openly racist sentiment growing in society right now. Ultimately, this situation is not complicated or even all that nuanced. It is simple. A fully adult white woman used a slur to address the child. The child may or may not have gone in her child's diaper bag, but even so, you can admonish the child without having to call him a slur. She doubled down on it unashamedly, and ultimately she was rewarded for her efforts with probably $1 million by now. There is truth to the recent administration ignoring some concerns with young white men, but it wasn't systematic racism against whites, nor was it the unfair elevation of black people. Supporting Shiloh Hendrix is not the same support for the fight against white racism, but the support to be racist.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say that I agree that virtue signaling went too far, that political correctness went too far, but we're going from virtue signaling being the norm and being praised to now vice signaling being the norm and being praised. It's not just a matter of does this woman have the right to use that word. I believe that she has the right. I disagree with it. But is she now being rewarded with $500,000? Why are we rewarding people for performing vice instead of virtue? This is not healthy. This is destructive to our society. This is destructive to our social fabric, to our culture, to our ability to live with other fellow Americans. It's gross to reward someone for bad behavior. It's one thing to tolerate it, to say that she has the right to do it, but she called an autistic 5-year-old the N-word. Like, I'm sorry, but I feel like we're kind of like missing the point in the actual context. You can say that it's part of this bigger meta story of black and white America, but it actually is just like a short little clip, and you don't even know the context of it, and it's actually gross, and if we can't just say that it's gross and bad, then I don't really know where we are.
I think
because I agree with it. Because we have to fight fire with fire. I mean, at some point, why are
nobody does?
Why are Jewish people allowed to be tribal? Why are black people allowed to be tribal? But as soon as white people stand up for themselves, we're labeled a racist. And by the way, you call people racist when you want them to stop talking about things.
No, I called you a racist because you admitted you were racist. Hang on. I called, just to be clear, I called you a racist because you openly, proudly admitted you're a racist. So it wasn't a question of exposing you or pointing my finger or trying to get this out of you. You proudly sat there, bold as brass, and said, yeah, I use the N-word all the time against black people. I'm a racist and I'm proud of it.
There is literally no justification for this unless you are racist, which at that point you are a hateful and evil person, and you need to reevaluate your views or shut the fuck up. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think about this whole situation. Is she racist? Is she not? Is racism becoming more prevalent than it was? Do you agree with the fact that people like Asmongold and Lily Gaddis are spreading this sentiment? Let me know in the comments below, and remember, I'm awesome and you're awesome, and I'll see you guys later.
Tastes like rust. Leave me alone, I've had enough. Still you hold on, I wanna lose you. Every touch just wears me thin. Killing the mood, you're too late. Don't make me say it again.
I want to live in a country where people are allowed to say what they want unashamedly, and you will
go
not
on then,
have
say
free
it. Say
you
the
will
N-
not have
Go on,
free
say
speech.
go on. Say the N-word. Go on.